Hi everybody, I'm Dan Joseph with MRC-TV. Why won't the president say the words radical Islam or Islamic terrorism when he talks about ISIS? Who knows? But I have a room full of Democrats here, and I'm going to ask them if they can figure it out. Would you say we're fighting Islamic terror?
I would say we're fighting terror.
He just gave a speech the other day when he talked about the fact that they're not, we're not fighting a religion. He's talking about ISIS.
Yeah, but I mean, why won't he say the word Islam?
I don't know.
They call themselves Islamic.
Well, I would say when you say Islamic terror, that puts that's saying that all people who are Islamic are engaged in terror.
No, that's not saying
well,
that.
that's one way you can interpret that.
Islamic terror. Why won't the president use that term?
Well, we're in a different phase now.
I would call this is a fanatical religious group who are, Islamic, but I would not say that Islamic terror is terror.
This is a really interesting group that we all need to understand before we can fight.
Very interesting, but doesn't understanding them require people to know that they are in fact Islamic and working under the banner of Islam?
They are. Your question: are they working under the banner of Islam? Yes.
Shouldn't the president say that?
What hasn't he said about it?
He hasn't used the word Islamic terror or Islamic radicalism. He won't say it.
Who wants to say that is my point.
Not him.
And boy, I watched shows this morning, and they're beating him up something awful about it.
On both sides. Why do you think that is? Why do you think he won't use that word?
Because he's the president, and that's a lot different than being, the Monday morning quarterback or somebody on TV.
Do you think the president should use the term Islamic terror?
Yes.
Why do you think he doesn't?
I don't know.
It's Islamic terrorism, right?
Well, it is terrorism that comes out of the Islamic culture.
What he's trying to talk about is these are extremist terrorists, and we need to fight them. But I think he's looking at a bigger audience when he doesn't want to say that they're, identify them all the time as Islamic terrorists.
What you do by calling it Islamic terrorism is you legitimize the fact that it's connected to a religion. And what he is saying is this: they use the religion as a veil, as a cloak.
Well, I think certainly part of it is because I think it demonizes Islam.
We go into trying to be fair and being able to embrace all peoples. So.
And I'm not a terrorism expert. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that to the experts.
I don't know if he is either.
And to try and give that label to all people just because of their religious beliefs is certainly an un-American concept. And
But he's not saying all of them. He's just saying they're good Muslims, and then there's radical Islamic bad Muslims. I mean, shouldn't you make that distinction? Isn't it important the American people understand?
I guess it
that
is.
distinction? Okay. So you'd probably call it radical Islamic terrorism.
I would call it radical terrorism for people that also happen to be Islamic.
It's the same thing whether it's Christianity or Aboriginal beliefs or anything else. You can have radical polarized beliefs, but at the same time you have to also identify that that's only maybe 0.5% of the actual population, and that maybe isn't considered the full radical side. So whether it's the GOP side with the Tea Party, etc., right, you have to take into consideration of what the actual percentage of the majority of that side's saying.
Okay, that's a lot, but
yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. You did a very, very good job expressing your views.
ISIS will completely engulf the Middle East.
Oh, that's good.
And so that's going to be the problem for the next president.